Hello, Covington County. Welcome to our Tuesday, June 5th, 2018 edition of Good News Covington County. Kind of a short crew today, just Brother John and Cousin Jared. The first segment of our local news and information is brought to you by JR's Lawnmower in Opp. Joe Richburg and his team will do a fine job on anything that you need in the way of lawn care and lawn preparation. You'll be impressed by the quality of JR's people and the quality of the lines that they carry. And I mean, they've got everything you need in the way of a power tool or power operating system for outdoors. They've got everything from Generac, Honda, and Kawasaki engines and power products. And I mean generators, those kind of things, to Cushman and Easy Go golf carts. They've also got a big selection of big green eggs. They've got the cookers and all the other stuff that goes with it, the merchandise. If you need mowing or grounds maintenance equipment, anything from the zero maintenance mowers, like the Grasshopper or the Husqvarna, or wood trimmers or weed trimmers from Steel, or chainsaws from Husqvarna or Steel, or blowers, go to the folks at JR's. They've got what it takes to make your outdoor work a pleasure. And they've got just about everything they need to repair not only their equipment, but the equipment that you could buy from somebody else. Go to JR's and Opp, and if you can't go to them, call them. They'll come and pick up your broke down equipment and make it like new. They're located at 1006 West Cumming Avenue in Opp, Alabama. JR's is what you need. If you can't get it from them, you probably don't need it. Go by and see them today, or call them at 334-493-9645. Well, folks, you know, today's election day here in Covington County. All over the county, people are already going to the polls. It opened at 7 o'clock this morning. They'll be open until 7 p.m. tonight. The big race in Covington County is the sheriff's race. State voters will also select a number of people for other positions here in the state. There'll be nominees for governor. Covington County voters will go and elect a sheriff on June 5th. From it may be a runoff. I don't know if it'll be enough to win the first time or not. It looks like a very competitive race. The Republican nomination for sheriff is the only local ballot only race on the ballot. One of the three candidates will need to get more than 50% of the votes cast to proceed in the runoff. The incumbent, Sheriff Dennis Meeks, who is currently serving his third term as sheriff, is on the ballot for re-election. He is being challenged by Nikki Carnley and Blake Turman. Carnley's a former Opp police chief who is currently serving as an investigator for the district attorney's office, and Blake Turman is works for the Alabama Highway Patrol, state troopers. I always get that mixed up. 8 local officials are seeking re-election and are unopposed. They include the following: Circuit Clerk Amy W. Jones, Circuit Judge Charles A. Lex Short, State Representative Mike Jones, State Senator Jimmy Holly, Probate Judge Stacy Brooks, County Board of Education member Sonny Thomason, County Board of Education member Jimmy Rogers, Coroner Norman Hobson. Now, voters in both parties will select a nominee for governor, as well as the constitutional offices on the ballot. On the Republican ballot, candidates for governor include Tommy Battle, mayor of Huntsville, Scott Dawson, Birmingham minister, Bill Hightower of Mobile, and incumbent Kay Ivey and Michael McAllister, a Democrat candidate for governor. The Democrat candidates for governor include Judge Sue Bell Cobb, a former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, Christopher Countryman, James C. Fields Jr., and Walt Maddox, the mayor of Tuscaloosa, Doug New Blue Smith, and Anthony White. Polls show that Maddox and Cobb are neck and neck, and it looks like that it's going to be I don't know, the polls are showing right now that Governor Ivey may be able to go in uncontested. Another race important for the local residents is the U.S. Representative for District Number 2, On the Republican ticket, and we've interviewed every one of the Republicans, Martha Roby is being challenged by our predecessor, Bobby Bright, who's run a heck of a tough campaign. Also seeking the Republican nomination are Tommy Amerson, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, Rich Hobson, what a decent human being, and Barry Moore, a good man from Enterprise. That's going to be a hard decision in that race. On the Democratic ticket, Tabitha Eisner, who we interviewed the other day in a broadcast, and Audrey Scott Williams seek the nomination for U.S. Representatives again. That's under the Democratic side of the ballot. The polls will open, as I said earlier, at 7 a.m. and will close at 7 p.m. Well, folks, we're going to stop after all that political news, and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Good News Covington County. This segment of our local news and information is brought to you by Andalusia Tire Company out on the Western Bypass at 850 Western Bypass here in Andalusia. If it's round, it's got rubber on it, it rolls off the road, they've probably got what you need in the way of a tire. If you got a flat on anything from your bicycle, your tricycle, or that Terragator that's spreading fertilizer, or even your lawnmower, your best choice to get your stuff rolling in a hurry is Andalusia Tire Company. Call Jimbo, Todd, Greg Caton, 334-222-3136, 222-3136 for your tire, brake, and chassis needs. Andalusia Tire Company can get you rubber from about anyone that you would need a tire from. I'm telling you the truth, that lawnmower tire repair businesses, keep them going right now. They'll do the work for you right the first time. In another article regarding local politics, there's an article from Christopher Smith in the Andalusia Star News. Local Democrats use direct mail, offer rides to polls. This is kind of interesting because the Democrats have been out trying to organize people and getting a number of folks to vote in the county. I admire their pluck. Anyway, they've had a local candidate in the market, Tabitha Eisner, who we did an interview with earlier. But they've been really busy doing what I'd call grassroots work, registering young people, registering old people. And now, as the election day is here, they will also be providing rides and transportation to the polls for people. I thought it was real interesting the last 2 weeks that people could register to vote in Covington County. 126 people registered. Is that going to change the election? I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but it's interesting. I think we'll probably have a pretty good turnout as a result of this. Now on to the article. Covington County's Democrats are pushing hard to get people out to the polls today, and they're even offering free transportation. Giving rides to the people that can't get to the polls has always been a traditional thing, said Harriet Hubbard, chairman of the local Democratic Party. This year we've been much more public about it, though. Hubbard said that the party sent out more than 300 postcards encouraging people to get out and vote. Postcards of information on when the election is, where the polling places are, and where the Covington County Democrats meet, and a phone number to call if someone needs a ride to the poll. Hubbard said that the one way they're revitalizing the Democratic Party in Covington County is by getting the word out. We're consistently inviting people to our meetings, Hubbard said. Word of mouth is always the best to get the word out. And we also have a website and all of the other social medias. We're definitely trying to move forward in the age of technology. Hubbard said that they're trying to get more young people to get out to the polls. Young voters are the future of our political system, Hubbard said. We need to encourage them that every vote counts. She said that by working with the Covington County Grassroots Alliance, they went in different high schools and registered 95 high school seniors to vote. We don't try to push agendas or sides, Hubbard said. We just want to make sure that they're educated on voter registration. We haven't gotten any calls yet, Hubbard said, but we're expected to get a lot of them in the morning and then transport people in the afternoon to the polls. The Covington County's Democrats meet the first Monday of each month at the Covington County Commissioner's Office at 6 p.m. Now, in other news locally, the sheriff says they've made no arrest in a murder at the Soggy Bottom bar here in Covington County. It's interesting, there were a couple of other deaths here in the local area, and people thought they were related, apparently not. Michelle Gerlach covers this real well in the Andalusia Star-News, and I'm going to read the article to you. The Covington County Sheriff's Department has made progress in its investigation in the shooting death of a 22-year-old man, but no arrests have been made, Sheriff Dennis Meeks said Monday. Deputies were called to the Soggy Bottom Tavern at 1:59 a.m. Saturday, where they found Zadig Arlerick McCaskill, 22, dead of an apparent gunshot wound to the chest. The establishment is located on County Road 21 in Red Level. Meeks said McCaskill was said to have stepped off the stage of the establishment after two fights broke out and was shot. The obituary is also in the Andalusia paper on page 3 if you buy it. The Covington County District Attorney's Office, SBI, and the Covington County Coroner are assisting with the investigation. McCaskill's body was sent to the state forensics lab for an autopsy. The shooting at Soggy Bottom was the first of 3 deadly weekend incidents in South Alabama. You know what? I don't even think the moon was full. The Butler County Sheriff's Office investigating a double homicide in the Garland community in South Butler County near the Covington County line. Sheriff Kenny Harden said that the department was called at 5:30 p.m. Saturday. He said when a passerby noticed the bodies, names of the victims have not been released. Rumors were rampant in Andalusia that the deaths were related to the fights at Soggy Bottom, but Meeks said Sunday investigators have determined that they were not related. Meanwhile, 3 people were charged in Florida after 2 victims were found near Brushy Creek, just outside of Atmore on Sunday. The Atmore Police Department was called to the scene at 6:30 a.m. after a caller observed a partially submerged truck in the creek and saw a human body in the bed of the truck. That person, later identified as Dalton Davis, was dead. A second victim, who also had been shot and left for dead, was found walking nearby. His name is Christopher Allen Stacy, age 37. Was found walking nearby. Christopher Allen Stacy, age 37, was charged with homicide and attempted homicide. His son, Christopher James Logan Stacy, and Alexis Eileen Schiffner Kane, age 21, were also charged with accessory to homicide and accessory to commit homicide. I'm glad I stayed home. We'll be back in just a minute with more news. Our next news is brought to you courtesy of Bauer Auto Parts, located at 304 East Cumming Avenue in Opp, Alabama. If you need auto parts, call Bauer Auto Parts. I don't care if you're just in Opp or not. Jamie and Jackie, they do a superb job. Now, they'll get you the best parts, and most of the time, and this is unusual anymore, they get you the right parts. If you need auto parts, check out the best 4-letter word in auto parts, Napa, at Bauer Auto Parts. Call Jamie or Jackie at 334-493-4017 for all of your auto parts, heavy duty and hydraulic system needs. I mean hoses, fittings, whatever. They've got specials going on throughout the store, and don't miss the great deals that they have. That's Bauer Auto Parts on Cummings Street in Opp, Alabama. Big news in Andalusia, the educational system. Andalusia's got a new principal and has named a new coach. In an article by Michelle Gerlach in today's Andalusia Star-News, the Andalusia Board of Education named Brenda Johnson, principal of Andalusia Elementary School, and Brad Goldman, interim basketball coach at Andalusia High School. Johnson currently serves as the vice principal of Andalusia Elementary School and previously was a counselor. She has worked in the county school system before joining Andalusia educational system. We have some really good candidates for the job, said Superintendent Ted Watson, but I don't think anyone can do it better than she can as far as the continuity of what we already have going on there. Johnson replaces Elaine Brunson, who served as principal at AES for 4 years and is retiring at the end of June. Goldman is currently a social studies teacher at AHS and has been an assistant basketball coach. He will continue to teach and he will serve as interim head basketball coach for the next year. He replaces Anthony Clark, whose contract was not renewed for the 2018-2019 school year. In other personnel action, the board accepted the resignations of Sharon Bulger at Andalusia Elementary School, who is a special ed teacher that resigned. Mary Ward, a science teacher at Andalusia Junior High School, also resigned. The board hired Ancillas Agee as a kindergarten teacher, and that's Tommy Agee's wife. We'll have a story about him in a minute. Cole Carroll, an AES special ed teacher, and Howard Drew Smith at Andalusia High School in physical education. Lots going on there as they try to get the city ready to crank off for another year in the school system. Listen, folks, we'll be back in just a minute after these messages. Folks, I don't normally do this, but there's a job opportunity out there for some of y'all. So I'm going to advertise for a job, and I'm going to advertise for some good eating too. I tell you what, we eat regularly at the Happy Kitchen. That food is just out of this world. Those folks do such a good job. They've got just about anything that you'd want in the way of Asian food, and their service is usually so good it hurts. Have you tried the food at the Happy Kitchen? If you haven't, you need to give them a chance. Happy Kitchen is located at the Westgate's Plaza over on the west side of town, on the Western Bypass, across the place that's got the 2 arches. Is that a rainbow? I don't know. If you haven't been dining out at the Happy Kitchen, you're missing a real treat. I mean that the food's good and the portions are generous. Open 7 days a week, 6 days a week, not 7. I got confused because I got to thinking about what a good deal those luncheon specials are. The Happy Kitchen is a local place for everything you need in the way of Asian food. I don't care if it's Mongolian beef to beef and broccoli. They've got it and it is good. And if you can't dine in, don't worry about it. Call them, place a carry-out order. Go over there and pick it up. They won't even laugh at you if you come in your jammers. They'll just take your money and you'll leave with food that's fit for a king. By the way, folks, I did mention this at the top of the advertisement. The Happy Kitchen's hiring servers right now in several positions. They have a good rewards program for the people that stay with them, especially if they stay with them for a couple of months. They'll allow you to grow your business personally as a server. Mighty nice people, good place to start a career at. LBW, great news out of LBW. What a summer they've got planned. Lurleen B. Wallace has the highest summer enrollment since 2011, with a 34% increase in the number of students enrolled and a 42% increase in the number of credit hours taken. Now that's just compared to last year. Summer semester enrollment is 1,102 students compared to last year's at 820. And the credit hours total are 9,197 compared to 6,459 last summer. This large jump is due to several critical factors, said LBW President Herb Riddell. The federal Pell Grant is now available year-round. I found that to be interesting. On average, almost 3/4 of LBW's student population qualifies for Pell Grant funds. I know my boys did. So this is extremely important in allowing them to continue their studies for the summer term. In addition, and this is just LBW, an incentive grant was established by the LBW Community College Foundation, a nonprofit 501c3 organization that supports LBW through scholarships and other programs. A set amount of funds were made available by the foundation that essentially offered a buy one, get one free incentive for the students who graduated from high school this year, for rising high school juniors and seniors and transient students who attend another university and are home for the summer. Riddell also credits faculty and staff who successfully conveyed the importance of getting started or continuing college studies during the summer. It's financially beneficial to these students who are home for the summer from a four-year institution because it saves at least half the cost of taking a transferable course at LBW. I did that when I was in college. Yeah, I didn't have to use an abacus, nor did I have to use a stone chisel. Although the full term and first mini term are now underway for the summer, it's not too late to pick up some classes by enrolling in the second mini term, he added. The second mini term is July 5th through August 9th, and students can enroll now. I also want to remind you that the Andalusia Farmers Market will be open tomorrow morning, Wednesday, at 7 o'clock and be there until about 12. Now we're going to take a break and we'll be back shortly. Folks, we want to recognize a new advertiser with us, Harold's Home. Harold's Home Furnishings, not furniture, located in the Andalusia on the East 3 Notch main drag on East 3 Notch Street next to the post office. If you think Harold's Home is the old Harold, you need to readjust your thinking. Harold's Home is a place, this entire area, and that's right, Florella, Opp, Red Level, Loango, Bruton, Enterprise, Dothan, Brantley, Luverne. Y'all all need to come to Harold's Home and see what they've got. They've got high quality furniture for your home at internet pricing. Come to Harold's Home. What you'll do is you'll see Myra and Paul and the crew and some great furniture, starting with their Just Getting Started line and going through their Coming Home line all the way to their Forever Home furnishings. Harold's Home has furnishings for your home at about any price level. They also have financing available on approved credit. Go to Harold's Home for deals that we can't even repeat here on television. Furniture that makes your house a home. Located at 526 East 3 Notch Street. Call 334-222-3265. Ask for Myra. In other local news, Strawn High School grad and an LBW student is vying for Miss Alabama. And this is another article by our friend Christopher Smith, who is apparently a writing machine. Christopher's a fine fellow. LBW Community College student Lonnie Blatz is competing for the Miss Alabama 2018 crown this week at Wright Center at Samford University. Blatz was able to qualify for Miss Alabama by winning the Miss Camellia crown in Greenville on January 20th, 2018. She will sing and play piano for her talent. When asked what the characteristics she has that are totally Alabama, Blatz said, well, when I think Alabama, I think of many hard-working individuals, and that is a characteristic that I certainly have. Blatz is also the current Miss LBWCC Community College. She's a 2017 graduate of Strawn and is majoring in biomedical science. She's the daughter of Chris and Terry Blatz. Now we're going to close here for a minute. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Good News Covington County for our final segment. Our final segment of weather, news, fishing tables, and even a little information about the Andalusia recreational system. This is all brought to you by Anthony King and all the outfitters and guides at Fletcher's Outdoors in Andalusia. If you need expert advice on what's biting at the lake or in the ponds or in the streams, ask the folks at Fletcher's. They'll even be able to fix you up with something to catch that fish with. If you're not interested in fishing, well, they're about the most complete place I know for miles and miles for hunting supplies, guns, and ammunition. For all your hunting and fishing needs, and I even mean the ice and the coolers, check with Fletcher's Outdoors, located at the corner of Martin Luther King Bypass and Brooklyn Road. Oh yeah, if you're hungry, Fletcher's has about the best breakfast buffet in this area. It's worth waking up early for. And I'll tell you something else. Their lunch buffet is one of the best kept secrets in Covington County. It's a great place to go when they're always full. Now, in a little bit of other information, Andalusia has got a big name coming to Andalusia. Former Auburn University standout Tommy Agee is set to lead the Andalusia Parks and Recreation Service. In an article by Michelle Gerlach, it goes on to say that Tommy Agee has been named Director of Leisure Services and Special Assistant to the Mayor of the City of Andalusia, Alabama. Earl Johnson made the announcement at City Hall Monday morning. Agee, who was a four-year starter at Auburn in the 1980s and was a member of 2 Super Bowl championship teams during his pro career, will begin his work here in July. He is the first person named to the post since longtime Leisure Services Director Dwight Michael retired. Good job, Dwight. We're going to miss you. This guy's no wilted flower. Agee currently works as the Assistant Director of Opelika's Parks and Recreation Department, and they've been looking for a leader, according to Earl Johnson, in this department, and they think they've hit a grand slam. Johnson said in making the announcement, we just couldn't have done any better. Agee said, I've loved working with the kids, mainly because I'm a big kid myself. He said he would not make any plans for changes until he has an opportunity to get to know the staff and the local operations. Earl Johnson, said he has already talked to Agee about setting a priority of adding an aquatic center to the city's facilities. That would be wonderful. Troy, Opelika, and Dothan each have one, the mayor said. We have to set a goal to get that done. Tommy was working in Opelika when theirs was built, and he already knows what we need and don't need. Johnson said Agee's other duties will be helping to make connections beneficial to the city based on his many contacts throughout the nation. Agee lettered in football, basketball, baseball, and track at Maplesville High School. He signed a scholarship to play football for head coach Pat Dye in Auburn in 1982 and started from Auburn from 1983 to 86. He was the lead blocking back for Bo Jackson and Brent Fullwood, not a bad combination, ending his career at Auburn with 356 carries for 1,735 yards, 10 touchdowns, 34 receptions for 336 yards, and 10 kickoff returns for 215 yards. His NFL career began with the Seahawks in Seattle. He later played with the Kansas City Chiefs and was a member of the Dallas Cowboys from 1990 to 1994. I have some contacts in Dallas, and they really liked him. They liked him for his character, and they liked him for the way that he played the game. That team won the Super Bowl 37 and 38, both times against Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills. He and his wife, Ancillis, have 3 children, Tyler, Tori, and Angelique, and 1 grandchild. By the way, they hired Ancillis and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, as a kindergarten teacher at the Andalusia Elementary School last night. The Board of Education on Monday agreed to, like I said, to help Miss Agee teach, or get her to help teach kindergarten at Andalusia Elementary. Now, this is a personal note. I've never met this guy, but I think he's a quality person from all I can gather. I hope all of Andalusia will join me and welcome him. In fact, not just welcoming him, but welcome the entire Agee family to Andalusia. Great family coming to a great place to live. Today's outdoors adventures start with our daily salt and fishing table, courtesy of the folks at Bassmasters, that company on the internet. Today should be a fair day for fishing according to our tables. The best daylight fishing times today will be from about 5:45 a.m. this morning, a little late for that, until about 7:13 a.m. But we're going to catch up on that. The evening's best fishing times are from 6:10 p.m. to about 7:38 p.m. Tomorrow's best fishing time should be from around 6:23 in the morning until 8:05 in the morning, and from 6:48 p.m. to 8:30 in the evening. Thursday's best daylight fishing time should be from 7:30 a.m. until 8:56 in the morning, and from 7:25 p.m. to 9:21 in the evening. Now, remember three things today, and I mean this clearly. One of them is to go out and vote. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. You can only vote once, but don't forget to go. The other two are to be kind to one another and shop local, but go to vote. See you tomorrow.